Welcome back to this series of light reading video chats around Mobile World Congress. Terry Sweeney here with Light Reading, and joining me now is Sandro Tavares, Director of Telecom Systems Marketing with Dell. Sandro, thanks for doing this with us.
My pleasure, Terry. Thanks for having me.
You obviously survived your time in Barcelona at MWC, probably took the pulse of the industry and got maybe a different sense of where customers and competitors and partners are. Tell us a bit about some of the things that you learned while you were in Barcelona.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a great opportunity to finally be face-to-face with customers, the press, analysts as well, and really see the industry in action after basically everybody being for 2 years working from home, right? And yeah, like lots of excitement about continuing to drive the 5G deployments and going beyond like the, let's say, the early functionalities that have been brought to the market. So really looking into the implementation of enterprise applications, private wireless networks, they seem to be everywhere. So it really seemed to be that the industry, and it's kind of what was expected as well, that the industry is past like the initial deployments of 5G and treating 5G as a broadband application, looking into the what next, right? Which is actually the big question mark of the industry is like, what are the applications that are going to come? How 5G is going to be enabled to drive performance, to drive efficiency in several verticals. And that seemed to be kind of the theme around the show, basically everywhere you would look at.
All right. So that was some of that was expected. I'm sure there maybe were some unexpected things as well. Tell us what surprised you with regard to the market, 5G itself, maybe some other emerging issue.
Yeah, I wouldn't say surprise, right? But for sure, it was really good and really refreshing to see all the advancements that we had in the past couple of years in terms of really of defining applications for 5G and basically catalyzing not only the telecommunications industry, but like players in all these vertical spaces are going to be touched by 5G and edge technologies, and how like the very first applications, the very first use cases are coming to life, right? Another trend that we kept on seeing this year that started to appear back in 2019, the last like big edition of the show is you start to see like players in the expo floor that didn't used to be there. So new companies coming in and seeing that they actually have a space in this industry and in this basically revolution that is happening in telecommunications and 5G. So it is great to see how the ecosystem is building, and that we are going to have a lot of new opportunities coming in the next months, in the next years to come.
Talk a bit about where customers are with their thinking. Dell, of course, services both the service provider and carrier market as well as enterprises. What can you tell us about where customers are with their thinking about both mobility and wireless in the first quarter of 2022?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to the point of consolidating the transformed networks that are coming with 5G and beyond, right? So the opportunity at the edge is more clear than ever, but it also shows the challenges that are ahead of the industry to actually execute on these opportunities, right? So had a lot of discussions about how do you fundamentally transform the architecture of the telecommunications networks, the foundation of the telecommunications networks, so they become more flexible to onboard not only the network functions that are going to be supporting the 5G axis of the future, but also the applications that are going to be leveraging these networks. So how you consolidate everything into one single foundation, and how you embrace as much as possible open standards that would allow you to basically expand the pie of the market, bring more players in, and basically share the same infrastructure across the network functions and the applications that are going to be running on that. So, like, for example, another very big topic for the show was Open RAN. And beyond just like let's say the basics of Open RAN, which is like establishing the basic radio functionalities on top of open interfaces and open infrastructure, but also the possibilities that you're going to have with the RIC, with the RAN intelligence controller, that then will expose APIs and allow for like new optimization tools to be deployed and new services to be deployed leveraging that. So lots going on, right? And lots of action around how these networks are going to evolve in the future.
So that leads into our last question. What do you see as the industry's top priorities for the remaining of the year, based on what you saw in Barcelona?
Yeah, well, it's growth, right? So it is about, we spent a lot of time discussing technology, discussing 5G and how we're going to build these networks. Now it's about growing the business, right? So taking the correct steps forward to really realize the potential of the 5G networks, of the 5G technologies, and all of the capabilities that it brings. So it's really all about transforming all this opportunity into services that are going to be sold to consumers and enterprises, and turning all of that into revenue and bottom line. So this is like the top priority that I could see from all of the discussions that I had during the show.
Good stuff, Sandro. Thanks for the perspectives on what's happening with both 5G and mobility and networking. Appreciate you doing this light reading quick chat today.
Thank you very much, Terry. Happy to be here.
We've been talking with Sandro Tavares, Director of Telecom Systems Marketing with Dell. This has been Terry Sweeney with Light Reading. Thanks for joining us for this fast chat. We'll see you next time.